hired. You're fired. You're hired. You're fired. You're hired. You're fired. You're hired. You're fired.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. I wouldn't claim to ever be a really smart accountant or math wizard, but at the very least, we run a tight ship around here, and I'm an employer, and so let me do some very simple math. If I make $7, but I spend $10, then I'm going to be in debt. And that's what our federal government does every single year, in spite of the fact that this economy makes $7 trillion a year. The United States economy is that rip-roaring. They still have a $2 trillion deficit. That's what the government spends. We make 7, we spend 10. How insane is that? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk, who's in charge of fixing all of this, said this morning, reducing the federal deficit from $2 trillion to $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026 requires cutting $4 billion a day from projected spending from now until September 30th. It would still result in a $1 trillion deficit, but economic growth should be able to match that number, which would mean no inflation. That would be a super big deal. How do you get to cutting $1 trillion out of government spending? Well, the vast majority of government spending is on its workforce. The government is the single largest employer on earth. No other company or private sector or anything comes even close to the employment of the United States federal government. Now, that seems insane to me. That's clearly not what the founders intended when they wrote the Constitution. And ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump's doing something to fix that. This week, every federal worker got a resignation letter. Everyone. Every single worker. Trump offering buyouts to all federal workers. Trump White House offered a memo on Thursday to pay federal workers who don't want to return to the office through September 30th, as long as they resign by February 6th. Why it matters. The action, first reported by Axios, marks an acceleration of President Trump's already unprecedented purge to federal workforce. The Office of Personnel Management described the offer as administrative leave with pay and benefits. It's a pretty juicy offer. You get an opportunity to keep your salary for 8 months plus all your benefits for 8 months, and you can go work another job. This is sweet, okay? All of these useless, zero-value employees from the federal government, you'll never get a better offer than this. Take it. Called a fork in the road. This was published this week. Employees who wish to resign were told, select reply to this email. You can reply from your government account, and then all you have to do is type resign into the body and hit send. The subject line, some of the wording echoed in the email Elon Musk sent to Twitter employees in 2022, giving them a similar ultimatum to leave or become hardcore. Musk himself appeared to acknowledge this post on X Tuesday evening. Let's go ahead and check here, ladies and gentlemen. A fork in the road. That's right. Let's see this. Trump offers 2 million federal workers buyouts in accelerated government purge. This is the easiest way to cut trillions of dollars in debt. DOJ official Katie Miller confirmed that the email was going out to all 2 million federal workers. So take the offer, right? Take the offer. The email landed in federal workers' inboxes, offering them a package and the ability to voluntarily separate from their federal government before the Department of Government Efficiency starts identifying areas that could be cut. What a great option. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. A fork in the road. Trump is setting an insane pace in 3 days. My lefty friends are overwhelmed, demoralized at the core. Getting upset about one thing, an hour later there's another thing. Mass firings. Imagine 100 days from now. Total culture war. Here's the actual email itself. Fork in the road. Just resign and hit send. Here you go. The performance of federal workforce will be built around 4 pillars. Return to the office, performance culture, more streamlined, flexible workforce, enhanced standards of conduct. Federal workforce will be comprised of employees who are reliable, loyal, trustworthy, and who strive in excellence in their daily work. Employees will be subjected to an enhanced standard of suitability and conduct as we move forward. Employees who engage in unlawful behavior or misconduct will be prioritized for investigation, discipline, including termination. Each of these pillars outlined will be pursued in accordance with applicable law. Into my blood, please. Directly into my blood. And then they include the resignation letter. Here you go. Here's your resignation letter. You can literally just resign right now. Do it now. Do it now. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh man, the buyout is incredible. I wonder how many people have been resigning. How many feds have resigned? How many? This is just, and people are saying it's a very similar email to that which Elon Musk sent to Twitter. It's very, very, very interesting. 2 years ago, Elon Musk commissioned an art piece called A Fork in the Road. And there it is. Where is this? It's got to be Burning Man, right? It is. It's totally Burning Man. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I wonder where that is now. They just, right? I guess they burned it, right? Carolyn Levitt on the Fork in the Road email explaining you're no longer wanted or needed here. CBS, of course, breaking the story first, saying that this is all designed to trim federal spending. A fork in the road, ladies and gentlemen, from the blonde supremacist, Carolyn Levitt. Let's let her explain and, more importantly, appreciate the unbelievable pace that this White House is on. Gosh, it's inspiring.
If you have more, what's going on?
One question about these buyouts. You've been describing it as this effort to get folks to return to work. The union that represents federal workers, though, says this isn't a voluntary buyout. They say this is a purge of people that don't agree with the president. What's your response?
That's absolutely false. This is a suggestion to federal workers that they have to return to work. And if they don't, then they have the option to resign. And this administration is very generously offering to pay them for 8 months. 6% of the federal workforce in the city actually shows up to work. That's unacceptable. We're all here at work at the office. There are law enforcement officers and teachers and nurses across the country who showed up to the office today. People in this city need to do the same. It's an overwhelmingly popular policy with people outside of Washington, D.C. The president campaigned on this, and his administration's keeping the promise.
Quick question to follow up on that. How much more is it going to cost? Because a lot of the space has now been given away, leases have expired, new purchases need to take place. What will it cost to bring all those workers back to create the new offices they need?
It's going to save tens of millions of dollars because this government has been wasting millions of dollars on empty office space. That is beautiful. I mean, look at the buildings in this city. They're gorgeous. They've been here for decades, and the American people are paying for them. And so we're going to make good use of the office space in this city by having these federal workers return to work. I would also add that the order simply directs federal agencies to come up with a return to work plan. And so this isn't a purge, and this isn't forcing every single individual in Washington, D.C. to return to work, only if they are able and, of course, within the law.
One more.